Zirene wants it, throws the needle, goes back in, Peter looking for the steal, he does it one more time! Gets him with the flag, he's alive! Gets the nine plus, miracle! Are you kidding me?
All these minions are hitting the Voidling still, and that's the greatest triumph!
He's gonna get
They did it!
Oh my god, they did it!
Being underdog doesn't mean being a loser, that's all.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Worlds Tonight, almost tomorrow, tonight. I'm Rivington Business III here with Martin Deficio and Aiden Zirene Moon. We've just closed the books on Group A here in San Francisco. It was a crazy day to say the least. Coming into week 2, it was all up in the air. We had CLG, Rocks Tigers, and Albus Nox Luna at 2-1, and G2 still trying to scrap for a win.
Yeah, sadly for G2, very quickly it was over. First game of the day, they had to win it if they wanted to try and advance, had to get like a 3-0 into a tiebreaker. They lost instantly.
Yeah, that was the game that opened the day, a do or die for G2 Esports, who need to take down the Rocks Tigers, who almost looked like it was possible.
Yeah, it was definitely a tall task, and G2 once again got off to a good start against the Tigers, whose early game was still looking really rough, but then it came down to those team fights in the mid game where Rocks were just going off of Gorilla's dives and having fantastic team fights, and they played to their strengths, and G2 played right into their hands.
And we've also heard that they're trying to, in the offseason, figure out what all that was and come back even stronger. The action continued as we see CLG got their rematch against the LCL champions, Albus Nox Luna, and were able to do some damage.
Yeah, I think CLG just want to forget these games, honestly, because this right here is the main reason CLG didn't get out of groups.
Yeah. Yeah, and ANX, they would have had the 1-1 against CLG, and CLG losing that game made it 2-0 and very hard for them to get out of groups.
Then in our fourth game of the day, Albus Nox Luna gets back on the Rift against the LCK Summer Champions, Rocks Tigers. And guys, the rest is history. Give me a history lesson.
I mean, this is one of the craziest games I've watched, because normally when, the international wildcard team gets an advantage against one of the best teams in the world, they don't manage to close the game. They don't manage to win the late game as well. But in this game, despite it, being a 65-minute long game with like 4 Barons and 3 Elder Drakes, Albus actually managed to keep it cool enough to get this late game situation here, where it looks pretty bad, but then there's so many super minions coming.
Yeah, the thing I loved about this was Albus Nox Luna, they kept playing the macro game. They didn't fall into the hands of Rocks Tigers. They made a couple mistakes on both sides, but then eventually it came down to Smurf peeling for Miracle in multiple fights that kept them alive for long enough that the damage from Albus Nox in these team fights was very high. I
do want to talk about this game more later, though, because I think actually this game highlighted a lot of the problems for Albus Nox Luna going into like the later stages of this tournament.
So with the group stage over here for Group A, Korea's Rocks Tigers and the LCL's Albus Nox Luna punch their tickets to next week's quarterfinals in Chicago, while G2 and CLG are going to go ahead and take a vacation.
Definitely, I knew the meme was coming at some point. I think CLG coming into this will be disappointed, because after G2 looked so bad, it was like, okay, this is CLG's time now to shine. They're going to surprise us again, like they did at MSI, make it out of groups. NA is going to get a team in the quarterfinal already, and EU is just down and out. Sadly for CLG, they kind of just joined, G2 here in the last day, and now they can go home together.
Yeah, it was kind of anybody's group to take, and it was on them. And I remember during week 1 and also this day, we were using the word disrespect a whole lot. And coming into today, I don't think anybody disrespected the other. They were taking each other seriously, and the better team won.
Well, since Rocks did take down Albus in a single tiebreaker match to close out the day, they will be that first seed, as it looked actually pretty shaky coming in, but they do advance, and we'll be able to see what they can do in Chicago. Tomorrow, the action starts all over again at 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's 1 a.m. Central European Summer Time, as Group C takes to the stage. First up, it's going to be Edward Gaming versus INTZ Esports, followed by AHQ versus H2K, which we heard is going to have some big implications. From there, the teams will play out their second and final round robin of the group stage. We are going to take a closer look at our first quarterfinalists of Worlds in just a moment, so if you're watching in the client, check out youtube.com/LOL Esports for the full version of Worlds Tonight.